Welcome back, everybody. This is part two of my pork chop dinner. And what I've got in front of me are different kinds of vegetables. Now, like I said, when I think of fall, I think about squash, pork chops, apples, and sweet potatoes. So, what I'm doing today is making a pork chop dinner. And I'm going to show you what I'm getting ready to do here in just a minute. But first, I wanted to talk about my squash that I bought at the store. This is butternut squash. It has really good flavor to it. This is buttercup squash, and this is acorn squash. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel these, and I got carrots right here. I'm going to peel these. I'm going to chop these up, and I'm going to show you my favorite way of preparing these vegetables. So I want you to stay tuned for more. Welcome back, everybody. I chopped up all the squash and the sweet potatoes and carrots, and I put them in a big pan. Now, you want to use a big pan like this because you would want all the vegetables to be in a single layer so everything will cook evenly. Now, this is plenty enough for me to take to lunch for lunch this week, and as well as feed other people. Now, what I did was I drizzled some vegetable oil over these vegetables, and I stirred them around with my hands, and then I put a little bit of salt on them and stir them around. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the pans in my preheated 450-degree oven. I know it is a very hot oven, but you would want these to cook and make sure that you stirred them. Now, what I do is about every 10 minutes or so, I take them out of the oven and I use a flat spatula and I just stir them around. You want to get them good and caramelized. Now, towards the end of cooking time, I'm going to show you what I do to these vegetables. So I want you to stay tuned for more, as well as the pork chops. Welcome back, everybody. 15 minutes have passed, and I took the vegetables out of the oven and I stirred them around. It's going to take probably about 45-50 minutes total for them to cook. You would want everything to be good and tender. Now, towards the end of cooking time, as I said, I'm going to show you what I do to those vegetables, and I'll tell you what, it is really, really good. My apple crisp just came out of the oven, and I'll tell you what, it looks really good. You don't want your apples to be really mushy. You want to have a little bit of bite into them. I cannot wait to dig in, and it's good. I tasted one piece of an apple, and it's really good. Now I'm going to talk about my pork chops. Now, you can use any pork chop that you want. You can use boneless pork chops or ones with bone in. Now, what I did was I got some thin sliced pork sirloin chops. Now, it's a mouthful to say. Thin sliced pork sirloin chops. And I marinated in some buttermilk, a little bit of hot sauce, salt and pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder. And they've been in the refrigerator for about an hour or so. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to fry them on the stove. I got some oil preheated on the stove, and it's ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in the flour mixture, which contains flour, salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and some paprika. It's a southern style. It's like making fried chicken. Now, I'm going to shake the excess off of here. Shake the excess buttermilk mixture. These won't take long to cook, probably about a minute and a half per side, since these are very thin sliced. Now, what I'm going to do, just coat these in flour. I'm going to fry them on the stove. It's going to take probably about a minute per side. Now, if you're using the bone-in pork chops, you would want to marinate these a little while longer, and you want to cook these a little while longer, just as long as you don't go too far with the cooking process, because you don't want to eat tough pork chops. So I want you to stay tuned for the finished product. I just got through frying up all the pork chops. I want you to look. I've already taken a bite of one, and it is really good. Just look how good that they've turned out. I am so thankful for that. And these have been in the oven for 45 minutes at 450 degrees. Now, about every 15 minutes or so, I took them out and I stirred them around. And now what I'm doing is I sprinkled brown sugar, cinnamon, allspice, and nutmeg in both pans. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to stir this around, and I'm going to put it back in the oven for about 10 minutes or so until everything is good and caramelized. So I want you to stay tuned for the final presentation. All right, everybody. Here's the final presentation. Everything just looks wonderful. I'm already eating on the vegetables that I roasted at 450 for 45 minutes, and then I added some brown sugar, a little bit of brown sugar. You can add it according to your taste, and some cinnamon, nutmeg, and allspice, and heat it for about 10 minutes more. Everything looks so wonderful, and I am just so thankful for that. Well, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have a blessed Sunday afternoon. Continue to subscribe and like my videos.